About that. That was disgusting. What a way to lose that game 38-30 for God's sake. You knew it was going to be a loss as soon as Indianapolis settled for that field goal. I would not have done that. I'd have kept trying to score. Kept trying to not just take the lead with a field goal because there was no chance that that defense was going to be able to stop the Texans. None, zero whatsoever. The Kaimi Fairbairn wasn't going to come on the field and kick a field goal that was going to give the Texans the lead. They did that. Colts had 17 seconds left. Doolin ate some of it with that return. Should have taken a knee. I get it. Like, you're probably the best chance to get the ball all the way down the field into the other end zone. But that was that was disgusting on every level. Again, they gave up 6 field goals. How the hell do you give up 6 field goals twice in a season? For the love of God. You want to vent? You're venting. You should vent. And you want to get upset about the ejection of Alec Pierce? You should, because the official was moving into Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce didn't try to create contact with the official, for God's sake. Alec Pierce was mauled in the end zone, shoved out of the end zone before the ball arrived. You think Alec Pierce is just going to run out of the back of the end zone? That official sucked, and the result of him sucking was Alec Pierce getting a little bit chippy, him moving into Alec Pierce, and Alec Pierce getting run out of the game as a result. Absolutely ridiculous. Alec Pierce did get 1,000, didn't he? Good for him. Doesn't really matter. They tried to get Jonathan Taylor that rushing title, but Jonathan Taylor, I don't know what the hell happened after that Pittsburgh game. Well, after the Falcons game. The Falcons game was the anomaly, right? Pittsburgh, and then all of the games after that game in Berlin, he just wasn't as good, or the holes weren't there, or people figured out, you know what, he ain't going to run to the open space. He's going to stick on his blocker's hip and try to pop through that hole. And you wound up with what you wound up with. Leonard was good, but you're going to be defined as a quarterback by the mistakes you make, not the plays that you make. And the mistakes that Leonard made, the interception and the first fumble. The last fumble, it really doesn't matter, right? Doesn't make any damn difference. You lost by 8 instead of losing by 2. Doesn't make any difference. But the others, those produced 10 points that were critical. The first, on that fumble, that was worth a touchdown, and then the pick, that resulted in another 3. Pittman's awful. Taylor's mediocre. Fire Shane. Now, I don't know about firing Shane. I know. We all want to get pissed off and fire everybody and send everybody home. I get it. I understand. I don't think you fire. Shane Steichen, with a rookie quarterback, created somehow or another 30 points. That, I don't think you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But Pittman was terrible today with those 2 drops. Colts should be embarrassed next year. They should be embarrassed. I don't think there's any doubt that they should be embarrassed. And we are in full upside-down bell mode. That's what we're in. A tragic loss today, the 7th in a row for the Colts. After starting 7-1, they lose 8 of their last 9, including 7 in a row. I don't think there's ever been a team in football history to win 7 of 8 and then lose the final 7. That's damn near impossible. This, a very, very special dark black wearing post-game. Colts lose again, this time 38-30. The first time they had scored 30 points since that game in Berlin in early November, and the season has ended. How many games did we lose in the last 2 minutes, though? A lot of wasted money that should go to improving the team next year. You know what? There are a lot of games like that. And 2 of the games, how about 2 games over the last month that resulted in 6 field goals for the opposition, both in Seattle and this week in Houston? Just terrible. We are brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry. Give Dr. Mike O'Neill a call, 317-849-2933. Become a member today. Do that. Make the call. Pull the trigger now. Become a subscriber, because when you're a subscriber, you're eligible to win prizes. We're all about the prizes here. So go ahead, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and smash the like button despite the result of the game today. And if you want to make a donation, make a donation. No big whoop, but please include a comment or a question. Thanks for the donation, Nate. That was very nice of you. Without a comment, losing to backups, fitting into the season of hell. And it was a season of hell. And again, Riley Leonard, not bad today. Pretty good for a rookie quarterback taken in the 6th round. Not bad. 21 of 34 for 270. The first half, Colts need Cignetti. Everybody needs Cignetti. There isn't a football organization on the planet that wouldn't benefit from hiring Curt Cignetti. None. Zero. You're exactly right, Nirog. 270 yards passing for Riley Leonard today. 2 touchdowns, a pick. Pick, kind of a big deal. There was another pick that hit a defensive player in the face mask. Or it would have been 2 picks. There were the 2 fumbles. The first one the last one didn't matter. First one did. Leonard looked good, but Pitt needs to catch. Howard, where do you think Leonard sits on the team, backup or starter? I'd have him be the backup. He's the backup, right? Not the starter. But he's a quality backup in the NFL. You saw that today. What a quality backup has to be in the NFL is a guy who's going to put your team in a position where it doesn't necessarily lose every game he starts. Barstow Media says, can Dr. Mike O'Neill do something to get this shit taste out of my mouth for this season? Thanks for trying to keep us optimistic, Kent. You bet he can. Yeah, absolutely he can. Dr. Mike O'Neill has made dental miracles happen for people. He can get the bad taste out of your mouth. How about that fake punt? How about what followed the fake punt? Which is really kind of the level of clever that either drives you nuts as a Colts fan because Shane Steichen likes to be clever, or the kind of clever you think, man, one day, maybe that helps the Colts win a Super Bowl. And that's what it was today. And just a little bit clever, right? You get the pass from Rigo to Mo Ali Cox. You get the first down. He keeps the punt team on the field. So what the opposition has to do, because you don't substitute, they don't get extra time. The official's not going to walk up and stop things and allow the defense to swap out guys. So they run the same punt formation and stand there and snap it to Rodney Thomas. Rodney runs to his left, but the tumult for the Texans caused a penalty for too many guys on the field. I counted 13. There may have been more. We're exactly where we expected to be at the start of the season. What now, Kent? 11 years, no home playoffs. Very true. Have gone to the playoffs twice in the last 11 seasons and have won 1 playoff game in those 11 seasons and have not won a single AFC championship in those 11 seasons from 2015 to 2025. That you fired Ryan Grigson. Well, Jim Irsay did, so it's a different regime. But Jim Irsay fired Ryan Grigson after 5 years. I don't think he ever had a losing season. And he went to the playoffs 3 times and went to the AFC Championship once, won 3 playoff games. I don't know. I don't understand the reason for more patience. I don't get it. Freddie Williams says, always finding ways to lose, even when it doesn't count. Thank you, Kent, for this year's Colts coverage. And it doesn't stop now. It doesn't stop now, Freddie. It continues. I'm 64 and I could pass against Colts pass defense. They're horrible. They were today. And they weren't just horrible in the pass defense. They were horrible up the gut. The yards after contact on runs up the gut. Like guys that get a piece of the runner and that runner had bounced for another 7. You can't have that. You got to stop guys. What are you doing? Next year, we're going to try to get our playoff feed back. Shane and Lou, just good enough to lose close games. That defense, I think you got to replate some things here. And really, I mean, Michael Pittman Jr., a really nice guy. But nice guy doesn't win. And nice guys don't need to get paid $29 million. This year, he wasn't the guy, was he? He was not. Alec Pierce was the guy. Alec Pierce is the number one guy, receiver, and you can't let him go and get nothing back for him. I wouldn't expect Warren back. Where's he going? He's on his rookie first contract. He's got 4 more years here, assuming that the Colts exercise that 5th-year option. He ain't going anywhere. Tyler Warren is going to be a significant part of this offense for a long time. He had 5 catches today for 26 yards. Those 5 catches, if I'm not mistaken, given 76 for the season. I predicted 80. I was off by 4. Zaire Franklin with 12 tackles today. We crap on Zaire a lot. He's not very good in coverage, but he made tackles today. He made plays today. He played like it mattered today, and there were some guys on that defense camp on him that did not play like it mattered today from my perspective watching this game on TV. I may have missed some stuff because it was on TV, but that did not look like a stellar effort. Nick Cross, I thought played really well today. Played a good game. Riley Leonard, better than I expected. Minus a handful, very few should have safe jobs. You got to sign Pierce. You got to sign Jones. You keep Ryman, Nelson, obviously Gonsalves and Bortolini. You keep Downs. I mean, he's protected, right? Because he isn't a free agent. DeForest Buckner's still under contract. Sauce Gardner. Mooney Ward still under contract. Zaire Franklin still under contract. Nick Cross, a free agent who needs to be re-signed. When Pierce was ejected, I knew the tone and fluency of the offense was going to change, and it was, and it did. And it allowed the Texans to play differently, right? They didn't have to mark seriously. They didn't have to put Stingley on Pierce wherever he went. Pierce had a really good game. It's so disappointing. It really doesn't matter, the statistics. I liked some stuff. I liked throwing it deep. That was fun to be aggressive. I liked the fake punt. I thought that was good. I thought that the play that followed was good. Jonathan Taylor, I don't know what happened to Jonathan Taylor. I know toward the end of the season where he was used heavily in the first half, difficult. Does Carly have the balls to fire Ballard? She does. Does she have the balls not to fire Ballard? That's the question, right? I'm not saying it'd be the right call not to fire him, but you know that about 85% of your fan base wants his ass gone. If you believe he's the right guy, and you believe if given the right resources, he can get this thing over the top, you stick with him. But that would cause some tumult and chaos within the Colts fan base. That's kind of where you're at. And we'll see how she responds to that. It's different. Preparing to be in the big chair is different from being in the big chair. She won't. Adam Schefter says Chris Ballard's safe. Adam Schefter doesn't know everything. So don't take that as gospel. Because the Colts keep their mouths shut. They don't deal in transactional media. We know what Adam Schefter does. I've heard this from guys who run NFL operations, so I know this. Adam Schefter will give if he gets. That's what he does. He'll give information that he gets if he gets information. And getting that a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams will tip Adam Schefter. Not in Indianapolis, despite, I know what you're going to say, despite the Luck thing. Because the Luck was an agent calling Schefter, not the team calling Schefter. Agents don't know whether Carly's going to fire Chris Ballard or not. And agents don't know whether Carly and Chris are going to fire Shane Steichen or not. Or whether Steichen's going to fire Lou Anarumo, which I don't think he's going to. Although Lou Anarumo, in his media availability this past week, man, was he selling it a little bit thick. That defense, and you can go back. That's why I put the whole things on here, right? All of what Lou Anarumo had to say. I don't cut it up into like 15-second chunks. I give you the whole thing so you can see the tenor that these guys bring each and every week so you can compare and contrast. And what Lou did this week was different, much different from what Lou normally does. Um, yeah. Defense was bad in parts. They weren't bad the whole time. The defense today gave up um, rushing. They gave up 134. That ain't great. 4.2 per rush. That ain't great. The passing game of the Texans 17 to 32 between Stroud and Mills for 205. That isn't great. It isn't bad. Generated no turnovers for the first time or second time, I think, this season. Other than that, they've had a turnover in every single game. And that's pretty stunning. Penalties, I always look at penalties. Colts and Texans were about even. 7 penalties each, 81 yards against for the Colts, 77 for the Texans. Turnovers, 3 for the Colts, none for the Texans. There's your game. Football is always won by the team making the fewer mistakes. Always, always, always. That's just the way it goes. So what do the Colts do now? We're going to talk about it tomorrow morning on Breakfast with Kent. Go IU. If you're Pierce, would you come back to the Colts? I'd think long and hard about it. He likes being here. He likes being a Colt. He likes Indianapolis. We'll see if he wants to come back. Does he think that there's anything to come back to next year that's going to be 9-8 or 8-9 at best? Interesting question. Just think, if Collins had played, they would have put a 50 banger on us. That's unnecessarily skeptical. You know what I mean? Texas Colts said that I have no team to root for. Will still root for any team against the Pats. That is quite true. Although Vrabel's a really, really good coach. Yeah, go IU, go IU. Bye-bye Ballard. I don't know if it's going to be bye-bye Ballard. I think it's about 50-50. Should they fire him? I think you should fire him, tell you the truth. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't see, he's been doing this for 9 years. And the results of those 9 years, an under 500 record, almost exactly 500 if you exclude the first year. Then, 1 playoff win, no AFC South championships. Does the light switch go on suddenly for GMs after the 9th season? I've never heard of a general manager in the NFL. Maybe there have been over the last 30 years, but I don't know of one that's come back after 5 straight seasons of not being in the playoffs. Ken, I'm thinking about a guy like Ward. Do you think someone with his history should be forced to wear the Guardian cap? I don't know. I don't force anybody to do anything, tell you the truth, Barstow Media. But he sounded like a guy who is kind of ready to say, I'm sort of wheels up. I'm not going to put my health, my long-term health, and my ability to function as a member of my family at risk because I need to play football. You know, we need to empathize with some of these people and understand what it is they go through in order to play, and that every time they play, they could suffer an injury that puts them on the sidelines permanently and puts them in a position, if they play too long, even, not suffer a catastrophic injury, but if they play too long, they're going to wind up in a wheelchair, unable to function on their own. You got to give that some thought. And if you've made $40, $50 million over the course of your career, do you need to put your body at risk, your presence for your family at risk, in order to get out on the field and play? It's a hell of a question, and these guys have to answer it every single Sunday. Rivers is not going to be a quarterback coach. If Rivers comes into the NFL, I think he comes straight in at the coordinator level. And I think he should. Maybe, like Frank Reich needed to be an unpaid assistant for a while. Shane Steichen needed to be either an unpaid assistant or a QC coach for a while. Not Phillip Rivers, I don't think. I think Phillip Rivers gets it. I think he understands what is required of an NFL head coach. Go IU tonight. That brings us to the next subject at hand, and that is that Indiana plays tonight against Washington, kind of the Big Ten opener for real, at Assembly Hall, and Indiana's got to win that game. Tomorrow morning, more talk about the Indianapolis Colts, and hopefully later tonight, we're right back here, and the bells are ringing, and the bells are upright, and we're talking about an Indiana win because we need something good to happen after we watch that from the Indianapolis Colts. We'll talk to you later.